Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Conspirsea. I am your humble host, Dante. It pains me that we must have such introductions under such distressing terms, dear listener. I am but a humble man who lacks a formal education or the technical know-how on how to put any of this together. If this actually reaches you, it must truly be divine intervention that has allowed someone like me the ability to reach you. But enough about me, dear listener. While we will get to know one another in time, the matters I must bring before you cannot wait. I bring you dire news about somebody at the very, very top. This, unfortunately, increases the personal danger I am undertaking by getting this information out there. And make no mistake, dear listener, my very well-being is threatened. For the subject of today is none other than the so-called pirate lord, Ramsey. His goons will undoubtedly try and silence me for this, but those of us with the flame of freedom sparked within them shall never be silenced. We have been lied to, and we have been played for fools, my dear listener. Ramsey has orchestrated a grand scheme to keep us good and honest pirates beneath his heel through fear and misinformation. The tyrant King Ramsey is cruel and inhumane. He is a tyrant whose sole goal is to keep the seas under their rule. But thankfully, my dear listeners, an anonymous source has sent us the following pictures. But before we get to them, my dear and handsome listeners, some context is needed. What I am about to present to you shook me to my very core. I am still affected and shaken. Honestly, some of the pictures are not safe for the young or the weak at heart, so please be wary, my dear listener. The pirate lord has killed their own son. A brave individual took several photos as evidence, and our team of experts have painstakingly taken the time to verify the validity of each and every one of the photos, so you can rest assured of their authenticity. But a brief word from our sponsor. Do you want to honor the legacy and achievement of our fallen hero? Well, then Demarco's honorary and commemorative coin is just what you need. It's made from 100% pure silver, just as the rogue would have wanted. And let's be honest, every pirate has gold. Very few have silver. Silver prices are going to be shooting up soon, dear listener, so it is best to strike while the iron is hot. I have it on good authority the price of gold is due to crash due to pirates having so much of it. So, invest in your future and honor Demarco's legacy by adding this coin to your hoard today. For the low price of only 10,000 gold per stunningly handcrafted piece, this is truly a steal, and they should be charging more, but for my listeners, input the code FREEDOM and get 5% off today. Stay ahead of the sheeple and order yours today. Thank you. And thank you to our sponsor as well, Demarco's Authentic Freedom Coins. I'm going to let the pictures speak for themselves while I go and order a coin for myself honoring Demarco. Wow. Fuck. Wow. That sure was some damning evidence, wasn't it? I think we can all agree now that the so-called pirate lord is nothing more than a bully and a despot ruler who would depose of their own son. His son was more talented, handsome, was actually a good captain, actually left his family on good terms, and was genuinely way more liked than Ramsay himself. It's no wonder he poisoned his son, my dear listeners. You can see where I am going with this, but unlike the pirate lord, I will not insult your intelligence with the obvious truth. But I will say it for those of you out there who serve them that still need a wake-up call. Ramsay was worried he was going to be replaced. He was jealous of his son for many reasons. Ramsay feared for the title of Pirate Lord and refused to let an upstart threaten his rule, even if it was his son. The seas are rising up to you, Ramsay. You hear me, a tyrant? You won't have us bow to your royal whims, you degenerate! My dear listeners, when I saw all of this, I could scarcely believe it for myself. But it seems as though the Pirate Lord has been doing far more than murdering his own son. No, the conspiracy goes deeper and far, far longer back than that. On my next episode, dear listeners, I will be talking about how Ramsay's propaganda machine has been making you look like fools by getting you to believe in a Flameheart, a supposedly giant skeleton in the sky that yells at people passing by. This hoax will be fully debunked in our next episode titled Plandemic, where we debunk these absurd rumors and how the Pirate Lord is controlling you by putting chemicals in your grog. If you've made it this far, thank you, dear listener, but as of now, you are no longer but a listener. You are now a fellow freedom fighter who won't sit down and take this abuse any longer. People who aren't afraid to fight for the flames of freedom. Libertas in Igni.